Now,
Done.
okay, so I just want to say hello to all the listeners and the viewers to this webinar. My name is Michael Carroll. I'm here in Croydon with Dr. Stephen Gilligan, who is in
China. Guangzhou.
Right out there now. And we're about 3 weeks before our seminar here, Emotional Integration, in London. Steve's just getting ready, to do some more seminars along the way before he arrives in what I call the centre of the known universe, Croydon. And I just thought it'd be really good to connect with Steve here today before he leaves China to go on the rest of his journey, so we can share with the people who are coming on the seminar or who are thinking about coming on the seminar still, what is, emotional integration. So really, that's the topic of today. I've got a few questions here for Steve. So Steve, I just want to say thank you very much. It's great to see you. Thank you for joining us here.
Michael, great to see you. Always good to see you.
Yeah, it's always great to see you, and I appreciate you there now in your hotel room in China. Leaving there today?
No, I leave Sunday night.
Sunday night, right.
Be a 3-week trip. I end the seminar on Sunday, fly back to California late Sunday night.
Okay, great. I'm sure your family and everyone will be very pleased to meet you when you're back there. So Steve, I just want to talk about the seminar that we got running here on Croydon at the end of the month. The dates are 27th to 30th of April. For those people looking at some of his videos, so we're really just will be good to sort of have a little conversation because we're excited. It's a new topic for us here, and I think a new topic for you here, definitely in the UK, emotional integration. So first question I've got for you, just really the big question, is emotional integration. The big set of words, 2 normalizations. So what is it, Steve, that the people are going to be getting here in terms of your sort of emotional integration?
Well, I think probably it's we could start with a third normalization, creativity. To me, the most important core word in the whole process is creativity, because that's what the work is organized around. That's what the conversations are about. That's what the teaching is about, which is we see creativity not as something that a few geniuses do occasionally, but at the very heart and soul of everything that is human. So we take a look at what is the creative performance state for you to be able to achieve whatever you want, whether that is personal stuff, whether it's professional success. And we see that there are 2 different intelligences, and this goes back for hundreds of years. Of course, in all the history of hypnosis, we talk about the conscious mind and the unconscious. More recently, in the last 20, 25 years, there's all this neuroscience and this neuropsychology about what we call the head thinking and the body thinking. And the body thinking, what we call the somatic consciousness, is the first intelligence. Don't leave home without it. It's faster. It's about 4 times faster than an intellectual perception. It's able to process things at a much more subtle level. And most importantly, it's creating its own language, of which emotion is one of the primary languages of somatic intelligence. So if you're going to do well in any creative performance, you better have the elevators going up and down, so to speak. So very connected, yeah. So if you don't have a comfortable emotional state, if you're locked down and either pushing too hard and you're repressed and you get angry, you get too controlling, you don't feel anything, or on the other hand, you're sort of lost in your somatic state, then you're just overwhelmed by emotion, overwhelmed by this and that. You can't find that sort of creative performance, what we call in China the middle way. So you have to open the system to the flow of emotional information, and then integration, of course, means wholeness. You have to integrate that with your cognitive, verbal, social self, who's got a whole different language. When those 2 are operating in partnership, you've got a winner.
Well, yeah, I just think it's a great way to put it. So to paraphrase, it's kind of opening a channel, if you like, from the somatic intelligence, which is the being, to the thinking, so that people have a balanced experience with how they're
Yeah.
experiencing their emotional responses, which I think is a really nice way to put it. Because so many people come out with labels and say this emotion is that, this emotion is that. I think what you're saying, Steve, is you've just got the channel open so people can have a balanced experience. They're not getting caught up in the overexpression and losing choice. But at the same time, they're not shutting things out.
Well, when they're disconnected, that's when you start putting them into these fixed normalizations and put them in these fixed categories. And that's where we often think about emotion.
Yeah.
It's some normalization that is static or whatever. But we would think more in terms of how like an athlete or musician experiences emotion. And then it's clear that an athlete or a musician or any creative performer is feeling sort of more of this ongoing river of ever-changing subtle somatic information. And you need to be tuned into that river and use it as one of the main sources of feedback for you to continue to adjust and be able to give your best performance. If you don't have that source of feedback, you don't have about 95% of the information that you need in order to do a good job.
And it's amazing if you think about it, that many people out there were disconnected from the 95% of that information that is so vital, to their own well-being.
Absolutely. So, the results, I mean, now, with all this internet stuff, I was just reading in the last 15 years, there's been a 60% increase in anxiety reports, depression, addiction, and most sadly, suicide.
Yeah.
So that information is in your somatic being.
Yeah.
If you ignore it, then by ignoring it, it turns negative.
Yeah.
When it turns negative, you're not enjoying life and your body is failing you and you can't do a good job.
So it seems like a lot of, sorry.
It's like a marriage partner or a friend. If you have respect and connection and feedback, that relationship is going to be really good. If you're treating your children or your partner with disrespect or disconnection, good luck. Life is already hard enough.
Yeah. You're going to get that feedback.
You just made it virtually impossible.
Yeah. It's amazing, really, the amount of people, think nowadays on the telephones, they actually have a whole communication system to express what they consider their emotions. These like little faces and things. Now, I never know what they are, so I've often sent out the wrong ones. But with people actually thinking that's the way to emote or to express their emotions rather than feel it, I think they're moving even further away than the true expression that can be experienced from themselves.
And again, we're thinking not only in terms of enjoying life, but we're thinking in terms of the quality of your performance, your ability to achieve something. It's the difference between having an ordinary performance where you're merely competent to having an extraordinary performance where you're able to be in that flow state, you're able to do things that surprise you.
Because they're there.
You got to have the elevators going up and down.
Great metaphor, Steve. Thanks for that.